Okay, we're into part 3. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you're just starting here, make sure you go back to part 1 and check that out on my channel. Now, I've just spoken to you about a couple of people that I've been working with that have had anxiety and that stubborn body fat. And as soon as we've flipped everything on its head and changed the way they not only think about that stress, but also focusing on their wind down, now they've been able to release that stubborn body fat. And this is what I want to talk about next, is focusing on the wind down, because a lot of people will get stuck in thinking that high intensity training is the way to go. And it's not true, okay? Because high intensity training is great for the right person. It can help you burn burn body fat and build muscle at the same time. And you can get fantastic results for it, particularly if you are the type of person that is sleeping really well and you're managing your stress levels. But if you are not managing your stress levels, and if you are not sleeping very well, and if you are anxious, you may actually find that high intensity training is simply just winding you up even further, okay? And releasing stubborn body fat is more about winding you down. It's because you may already have a very busy lifestyle. Maybe you suffer from anxiety or depression. Maybe you have some anger or some bitterness that is unresolved and that you need to close that sort of chapter of your life. Which we'll talk about soon. But focusing on winding down is very, very important, as I mentioned in the last video. So some of those sort of practical sort of things is to, one, make sure that you don't sweat the things that you cannot help anyway. So if your parents' health is in decline, you cannot control that situation. You can only do what you can do to help them through that and through that transitional phase. If you've got you've got work stress on, a lot of people that I work with, what they will do is they will try and, take more on board with that work stress to try and stay on top of the workload that's keeping you so busy and so wound up. And that is not necessarily the right thing to do, because again, you can't sort of escape it. When your boss comes to you and they say, hey, look, I need you to do this, and it needs to be done by this time, you need to actually start saying, no, sorry, I can't actually do that by that time. I can try, but I can only do what I can do, and making sure that you don't sort of continually keep on working too hard, because you're just going to burn yourself out. Same with high intensity training. If you just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing, you will burn yourself out, okay? And that body fat's going to get even more stubborn, and it's going to get harder and harder to shift. So what I want you to understand here is that it is okay to be busy every single day. Not a problem. You can be a busy person, but you need to focus on winding down at the end of every single day. You need to leave work at work. You need to focus on shutting the door on those past grievances, which we will touch on in another video. And you also need to focus on bringing the system down in the evening so that you can spend good time with your family, and maybe focusing on doing things like going for a walk in the evening to bring the blood sugars down. And as you bring the blood sugars down, your body will start to repair and recover, and you'll start to feel like you're in that safe place. And as you start to feel in that safe place where you can relax and unwind, then you're going to find that you're able to release that stubborn body fat. Breath work is very, very important. If you're breathing shallow, and if you've got poor posture, if you work at a desk and you have this sort of hunched posture where you're like this, you narrow the lung capacity. If you narrow the lung capacity, the body can think that you are in a stressful position, okay, a life or death situation, because you are taking shallow breaths, which is the same as sort of rush. Focus on lying down on the ground and taking a few deep breaths, or lying down and reading your book in bed. Lie down flat. As your breath opens up, as you start to breathe properly, you will notice that you start this sort of sighing thing going on. And as you start to sigh, you're telling your brain to switch out of sympathetic mode and into parasympathetic mode. And it's in parasympathetic mode that your body will start to digest its food better, and the elimination will start to work properly. Okay, so I want you to think about what you can do to focus on winding down. Stop taking so much on board and slow down in the evenings, okay? Nothing wrong with being busy, but you've got to make sure that you're shutting off at a certain point and really winding down. If you wind down effectively, you will sleep really well. If you sleep really well, your body weight is going to be so much more sustainable, and your body shape is going to be so much more sustainable, okay? So I want you to think about those little things as we move forward. I want you to make sure that you're thinking about foods that can really wind you up, and that includes caffeine. And I want you to eliminate alcohol in the evenings, because if you're trying to use alcohol as a way to wind down, you're effectively killing your bacteria, your good bacteria in your gut, and then that bad bacteria can take over and again force you into survival mode. Okay, so I want you to think about that as you move forward and we move into video 4. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Please feel free to check out video 4, and remember, subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying these videos, give us a comment, keep it positive, keep it above the belt. Look forward to hearing from you.